Hello and welcome to the School Board Report for October. I'm Zoe Crespo, and today here with me is Mr. John Landers. Thank you for joining us, Mr.
Yeah.
Landers.
Thanks, Zoe. Glad to be back in the halls of Boardman High School.
So we're standing in front of the BPAC right now. Have you noticed anything new about it?
Sure. I think we continue to try to evolve the look and feel of our buildings. We made some changes in the gym that we'll probably talk about during basketball season. But as we get ready for our string of fall concerts and, the performance of Frozen, I think Mr. Kale and the team have added some screens here to be able to tell about the multitude of events that we have going on here. Highlight our awesome students who are performing in the musical or in the orchestra or the band, and just be able to promote also all the events to the community when they come in here. I think you all know that every night, especially once we hit October, November, December, there's always something going on in the building, whether it's a performing art or an athletic contest, and it's a great way to get the community out here.
Mhm. Last night at the board meeting, the BSTN football crew was recognized. What can you say about that?
Sure. As I guess a proud BSTN alumni, as I mentioned during the meeting, it was great to have you here, and we appreciate it. We always try to recognize whether it's our students from academics, athletics, or the arts, as well as staff members or members of the community. It's a lot of work to be filming this not only during the school day, but after school, or sometimes giving up your evenings or your weekends to cover the football games. But I think you guys had a great fall. Did a lot of cool things and some different things like the hype videos. It's all prepping you for the next step if you choose to take it. And I think it's a great experience to get to be able to use these tools, but also really to learn how to collaborate and work together as a team. Because no matter what you may end up doing in life, whether you're entering the workforce or potentially going into military or going to college, the group projects don't end. You're always working in a team. So to have this practice now of working with different skill sets and different ways to communicate, it's great. And we just want to say thank you to the BSTN crew and your leadership of David and Joe. And we're just so happy to have everyone on the team.
Mhm. So our last regularly scheduled football game is happening this weekend, the 24th, also a senior night. What can you tell us about that?
Sure. Not quite sure how we're at week 10 of the season already, but we have a big home game versus Canfield, which has some playoff implications. And like we typically do with our last home game for fall, we really honor our fall seniors. So that includes football, other fall sports like golf, cross country, and some of those teams, as well as our band. And I think the BSTN crew, probably around 75 to 80 students being honored. So we're expecting a good crowd and good energy. And we wish our team the best of luck on Friday night.
So another thing going on this weekend on Saturday the 25th is the speech and debate tournament. I heard that you went last year. Could you tell us how big of an event it is?
Sure. We're hosting a speech and debate tournament with about 18 different schools, I think, from the Tri-County area. And I think there's also one from Cleveland. So that leads up to about 250 competitors and 100 volunteers. I know Miss Blaze and her coaching staff and the team have really worked hard over the last few years to bring back to hosting tournaments, but also kind of continuing the long tradition of success our speech teams have had with kids qualifying to state and to nationals. So thank you to everyone that's participating and making sure that goes well. The Boardman Rotary donated $1,200, and it's actually called the Boardman Rotary Speech and Debate Tournament. So we're so thankful for the Rotary in our community supporting events like this and so many other things throughout Boardman. But that's just part of what the big weekend is. As we traditionally do around this time of year, we're hosting the cross-country regionals through the Ohio High School Athletic Association. So we'll have a lot of visitors to our community and encourage them to check out our restaurants and local businesses. Our girls team runs at 1:40 p.m. on Saturday, and our boys team runs at, I believe, 2:20 p.m. on Saturday. So we wish our competitors in the speech tournament, as well as our runners, the speech tournament, the best of luck, and hopefully we'll have some people that we can cheer on for state.
That's amazing. So I noticed that the board approved 2 field trips at this month's meeting. Can you tell us what that's going to look like in the future?
Sure. Not to kind of get into the weeds, but technically, Superintendent Knifer, we give him that power to kind of approve the field trips, and they're just on our agenda for informational awareness. But there were 2 that were highlighted. One was for an orchestra trip, I believe, in March, which is really something the orchestra team does annually. And I think one thing that spun off of the senior class trip for last year, where they went to Washington, D.C., is that the seniors proposed a trip to New York, and working with like people like Mrs. Matiste, Mr. Zura, and other members of the leadership, we'll be doing I think a 3-day trip to New York City, where I think they're going to see a show. I believe they're going to see like the Brooklyn Bridge, and I think they're also going to visit the 9/11 Memorial. So great way for them to kind of have a special event for their senior year, to be able to see more of the country and see some great sights in New York. So looking forward to hearing some stories about that when they get back.
That's a very exciting thing to look forward to. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I think just as a reminder to our community, Election Day is November 4th. You know, there are plenty of races to be aware of in the Boardman community, and we just remind our community of two renewal levies that we have on the ballot that represented about 14% of our budget. One is for a 5-year renewal, and one is for a continuing renewal.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Mr. Lakers. I'm Zoe Crestro with BSTN, and this is our board report for October. Thank you.